Darius Butler with the Everything DB show. Let's talk about these top secondaries going into the 2020 NFL season. As you can see behind me, those are my top three. But really quick, I want to talk about the other two secondaries that are right on the outside looking in. Starting off with the New Orleans Saints. They brought back Malcolm Jenkins, an original draft pick of theirs back in 2009. He's had a great career thus far in the NFL, won 2 Super Bowls. Coming back from the Philadelphia Eagles, where he was a jack of all trades. He can play in the deep middle. He can play strong safety in the box. He can cover the nickel. He can play the dime backer, blitz, and do all the things. He can communicate and get guys lined up all over the field. I think it'll be a great addition to that New Orleans Saints secondary. They already have Marcus Lattimore. They brought in Janoris Jenkins on the other side of him last year, who played well. They have Marcus Williams back there, another young good safety. And the draft pick out of Florida, number 22, Gardner Johnson. He played pretty good last year as a rookie, so I look for him to develop back there as well. The other team on the outside looking in, Los Angeles Chargers. Brought over Chris Harris Jr., a dominant slot defender, great cornerback altogether, one of the all-decade members. They still have Derwin James, who should be fully healthy this season, who's an all-pro, a first-team all-pro as a rookie in the NFL, which is almost unheard of. You got him, you got Chris Harris, and then don't sleep on Casey Hayward, quietly one of the better cornerbacks in this league for some time now. So they got the pieces. Desmond King is still there. Kind of had a little bit of up and down year last year, but he's nearing that contract year, so I think we'll see one of the better years from him. Now, hopping in these top three. You see the three teams. Let's rank them. Start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, they're bringing back an all-pro Minkah Fitzpatrick, who came over from the Dolphins last year. Had an all-pro season. Made plays all over the field last year. He's a much more comfortable player. I actually saw something yesterday with him saying that he was looking forward to being used in more roles now. Because coming in, and that was one of the issues he had in Miami, but coming in as a rookie is very, very, very tough to learn how to play the game and be able to play the game fast on this level while doing it at multiple positions. So you can definitely put too much on a good player's plate too early, and that can slow him down. I think that's what happened in Miami, and I think he made a good decision getting out of there. Went on to have an all-pro year at Pittsburgh, and he's surrounded by other very, very talented vets. The guy at the top of that list is Joe Hayden. He's been in the league dominating for over a decade. He was healthy last year, had another Pro Bowl season. And the guy opposite of him, Steven Nelson, is quietly one of the better defenders back there as well. He could have been in the Pro Bowl just the same way Joe Hayden was. And his brother back there at safety, you got Mike Hilton in their nickel, who's one of the better blitzers and tacklers in the league. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2, I got the Baltimore Ravens. Once again, another all-pro back there, Marlon Humphrey, as well as Marcus Peters. Earl Thomas was a Pro Bowler again. And then you had Chuck step in there for the injured Tony Jefferson last year. Chuck kind of took over that role of the communicator on the back end, getting guys lined up. Those guys, you got Jimmy Smith is a guy that comes in and rotates for depth. So they got a lot of guys that come back, have a lot of continuity, just like the Steelers, just like the other team on this board. When you have that continuity as a defensive backfield, that helps tremendously, because I played with a guy, Vontae Davis, for a long time in the NFL. And for a long time, actually shout out to Vontae, it was his birthday yesterday. But played a long time with Vontae. And me and Vontae, we got so many switch routes and stack routes and bunches. And it got to a point in our careers where we could just look at each other and tell, how we wanted to play something. Or we say, hey, we're going to lock this, or we're going to switch this. We knew what routes we were switching and what routes we weren't. So those reps together helped tremendously. So Baltimore, they got a lot of depth coming back, a lot of talent, made a lot of plays last year. So I'm looking forward to those guys doing their thing again this year. Now to the top team, the New England Patriots. No secret there. Bringing back the Defensive Player of the Year, Stephon Gilmore. They re-signed Devin McCourty, who had another great year last year, still one of the better free safeties in the league. Jason McCourty should be back healthy. They picked up his option. J.C. Jackson, I think, is a quiet sleeper, and is not sleeper, but he's the unsung hero, I would say, in this secondary, because he's a guy who actually led the league last year, according to PFF, with passer rating when targeted. So Patriots, everybody knows they're a press man-to-man team. That's what they do. And J.C. Jackson is one of the better press man-to-man corners in this league. Not a household name, but I think he gets more hype behind him this year. But he's been balling. He's been producing. You got Patrick Chung, they re-signed to another 2-year deal. He's been doing it for a long, long time. Shout out to Pat Chung, my former draft mate. And then you also got Kyle Duggar, the second-round pick that's coming into a great meeting room, a great group of pros, a great group of guys who's going to show him the right direction, the right way to go, the right way about going about doing things and being a pro. And I think he'll definitely have a role carved out for him, or Bill Belichick wouldn't have took him in the second round. So those are my top 3 secondaries going into this year. Holler at me in the comments if you think otherwise, or if you agree with me, man. Stay locked in.